Hi, and welcome back to OpenOffice Writer for college students. In this lesson, we'll begin creating a template for your essays. The value of a template is that it has all the settings you need already set up so that you can simply save a copy of your template and start drafting your essay. In later lessons, you'll need to adjust your template depending on whether your school requires MLA or APA formatting. However, you don't need to worry about that yet because the settings in this lesson, margins, fonts, line spacing, justification, and tabs are the same for both MLA and APA. As a first step, go to the File drop-down menu and select New Text Document. Since we're going to add to this document over the course of several lessons, we'll start by saving it somewhere easy to find. I suggest saving it to your Documents folder or a folder you set up specifically for your schoolwork. Go back to the File menu and this time select Save As. Name your document with your last name _ essay template. So my file would be named Brophy _ essay template. You'll see that the file extension is ODT. Don't worry about that for now. Just choose the location you want to store your template and click Save. Our next step is to set margins. If you're using a mouse, right-click. If you're using a trackpad, hold down the Control key and click. Then choose Page from the drop-down menu and choose Page again from the second menu bar. You'll see 4 boxes under the margins columns: top, bottom, left, and right. Change all 4 to 1 inch. Click OK. Next, we need to set tabs. The tab is what you'll use to indent the first line of each paragraph when you write your essays. Choose the OpenOffice drop-down menu and select Preferences. Click on the arrow next to the OpenOffice Writer and choose General. Make sure the measurement unit is set to inch, and then change the tab stop to 0.50. Click Return to make sure the change is made, and then click OK. It's a good idea to get in the habit of saving your work regularly, so go ahead and click on the File drop-down menu and click Save. Font and line spacing can be set using the toolbars at the top of the screen. First, be sure that formatting is set to default. Then set your font to Times New Roman. If you know that your school prefers another legible font, like Arial, you may choose that, but Times New Roman is the preferred font for both APA and MLA. Next, set your font size to 12. Again, click on the File drop-down menu and click Save. Now make sure you can see the 4 justification buttons and both the single and double space buttons. If you don't see them, click on the thin arrow button on the bottom row, roll the cursor over the Visible Buttons option on the drop-down menu, and check off the following buttons: Align Left, Centered, Align Right, Justified, Line Spacing 1, and Line Spacing 2. Each time you check a button, the menu will close, so keep opening the drop-down menu until all 6 of these buttons are visible. Justification and alignment impact how lines of text appear on your page. If I click Align Left, the text lines up to the left side of the page. If I click Centered, each line is centered based on the middle of the page. If I click Align Right, the lines line up to the right side of the page. And if I click Justified, the words spread out so that each line is aligned all the way to the margins on both sides. While it's a good idea to know what each alignment and justification option does, you will only use Align Left and Centered for most essay writing. So let's go ahead and uncheck Align Right and Justified to minimize the chances that you'll accidentally click one of these buttons. Then click Align Left. This will be your default. As a last step, click Line Spacing 2. The majority of your essays will be double-spaced, so this is the option you should use most of the time. You will use Line Spacing 1, single spacing, for some purposes, but if you have the Line Spacing 1.5 button showing, I suggest you uncheck it so it doesn't appear on your toolbar. Finally, click on the arrow next to the Font Color button and make sure either Black or Automatic is selected. You may want to type a few words just to be sure that your font is black. Open the File drop-down menu one more time and click Save. You now have the first stage of an essay template. In our next lesson, we'll add to this document by adding page numbers and header information. MLA and APA have slightly different requirements, so be sure to choose the lesson for the formatting standard used by your school or academic department. As a final tip, jot down the location of where you saved this document on a Post-it note or other scrap of paper if you don't plan to complete the next lesson immediately. You'd be surprised at how often students save their documents somewhere that seems clear, but have trouble finding them later on. If you're using a public or work computer, save this file to a flash drive. Thanks for joining me for this tutorial.